Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Well, it's the line that everybody has been talking about. Joe Biden addressed the country today at the Independence Hall, where he spoke about America's soul. But when he did that, he called Donald Trump supporters and the MAGA Republic extremists, labeling millions of Americans as a threat to democracy and that they don't respect the Constitution. It wasn't a total surprise what the president had planned to say, as it was reported hours before. Joe Biden's comments weren't met too kindly from some, especially one guy who heckled the president during his address.
Courage that digs deep when we need it. Empathy that fuels democracy. The willingness to see each other not as enemies but as fellow Americans. Look, our democracy isn't perfect. It always has been. Notwithstanding those folks you hear on the other side there. They're entitled to be outrageous. This is a democracy.
Before the president actually addressed the country, journalists probed the White House press secretary and what he planned to say. They questioned Karine Jean-Pierre on how comments like calling MAGA supporters extremists would help unify the country.
But you're also facing some criticism, which has been brought up, that this aggressive tone is also stoking the divisiveness that he's trying to heal. Any concerns about that?
You know, the president's never going to shy away from calling out what he sees.
And obviously, there's been a lot of focus on previous speeches, previous comments, one in Maryland the other day. Is it only on the far right that deserves to be called out, or are there elements of the far left that also deserve to be either scrutinized or lectured?
Look, I just laid out there is going to be some people who agree with him and who disagree with him, whether it's legislative initiatives or programs. That's going to happen. But what we're going to hear from him is how to move the country forward. You know, when you ask me about the MAGA agenda, especially as it relates to Congress, as it relates to elected officials, it is one of the most extreme agendas that we have seen.
Joe Biden attempted to inspire Americans as he told them the country must choose to move forward or backwards, but they must be a nation of hope and optimism. He did this while branding Donald Trump voters as extremists. As I said before, it was well known before the address the premise of the speech and that the Republican name would be smeared. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy told the press that Joe Biden needs to apologise.
The first lines out of his mouth should be to apologize for slandering tens of millions of Americans as fascists. President Biden wants to talk about the soul of the nation. Tonight, he will say democracy is at stake, and he will declare that only Democrats hold the moral upper hand. What Joe Biden doesn't understand is that the soul of America is in the tens of millions of hardworking people, of loving families, of law-abiding citizens whom he vilified for simply wanting a stronger, safer, and more prosperous country.